Maybe I'm gonna.
Oh, now it says the broadcast is live.
Okay.
Were we not live before?
I'm not sure. This is my first time experience.
I think we might have just done a whole wonderful, wonderful discussion that actually wasn't live. Love it.
I
see
love it.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. Helen, can we go back to the very first of this session today?
We can certainly go back. I just want to take this moment though, because I think this is fabulous. So, you know, as I'm assuming we have people watching live now and people watching the recording as well. The lesson from this is, can you see that Haruko and I are just laughing about this? Now, I can guarantee that several years ago, if this had happened to me, I would be in a complete panic. I would be like, oh no, it's a disaster, it's gone wrong. And now I'm like, oh, fine. So I just really want people to understand that if something happens like this, it's not a big deal. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, we can handle it.
We can totally handle it. And it makes it kind of more fun and real anyway. So fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going back to...
go back to the beginning of the session. So,
can we just check though? Do we have people watching, and can they comment? And do you want to just double check, because I don't think I can see from my side.
I can see that people are watching now, so that's okay.
So funny. Well, I'm sorry, everybody. You missed a really good conversation.
Yeah, because we scheduled this live, and it's automatically broadcasting. But this is our first time. It didn't start.
Right.
Maybe, and then we didn't know that, so we started. We did great conversation actually, but we found out. So let me start again.
All right, here we go. All right, so going back to who I am.
Yeah, everyone, welcome to our live, and we have a special guest, my friend Helen Iwata, success coach for women. And today we are going to live in English, but if you want us to do it in Japanese, Helen is a good Japanese speaker, so you can write a comment in English and also in Japanese. So, Helen, could you tell us about a little bit about yourself, and also how do you support women?
Hi, and 日本語でも大丈夫です。どっちでもいいです。And I want to just say, I can see a comment now as well, watching from Singapore. So welcome from Singapore. That's lovely to see that we have a week in Singapore. Yay!
Yes,
all right, so who am I? So I'm Helen Iwata, and you may have guessed I am not Japanese, I'm British. I've lived in Japan for 30 years almost. During that time, I worked with McKinsey for 10 years. I was the client communications manager, and that involved a lot of training of consultants and McKinsey clients and communication skills. In 2013, I decided it was time to do something different. I left McKinsey, and the next day I set up my own business. And so now I have two sides of the business. One side is supporting companies with communication skills training and coaching. A lot of that is for executives. And also I have the online side of my business, and I'm primarily supporting women there. And this is what I am so passionate about. So we can maybe talk a bit more about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And wow, we have some comments here. Hi, Helen-san.
Yeah. Oh, really? You read the book? Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you for the shout out, Yuko. Here's the book in case anyone's wondering. Eigo no Shinoto Jutsu.
Thank you, Yuko-san.
So published in 2016. It's also the digital version, and it's still as relevant today as it was in 2016. So, and Aki.
Oh, and Kumiko is
And
also
Kumiko.
here.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. So, Helen,
Yes.
tell us about why you start to support women. What is your
Yes.
passion to
Okay.
support women?
And let me just take it before I get into this serious
Yeah,
topic.
of
Let me
course,
take
of
a little sip of water. So yeah, this is a topic that I'm really passionate about because I have seen so many women who have tremendous potential. I really see people's potential, and then they are not achieving the potential. And not only are they not achieving the potential, but they're actually going into stress and burnout. And it is so mottainai. And it's not just that I've seen it in other people. I have experienced it myself. And yeah, really, really not not good. I'll just share with you a little bit about one of my experiences. You see, the thing is, I didn't just have one experience of burnout. I had multiple experiences of burnout.
Good.
With one of them, when I got home from work one day, there's a lot of things had been building up, and I just got home from work. My husband very kindly had made dinner, and I just could not. I could not even eat. I could not even lift the chopsticks, and I just had to just go straight to bed. And I don't actually even know really how long I was in bed. I was so burnt out, so stressed. My heart was beating really fast and in a strange way. I had like twitching going on. It was terrible. And I went to a psychotherapist actually, and I spent 2 hours in the psychotherapist's office just going blah, 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 and just talking through everything there was so much. And he said to me, he's like, wow, I can understand why you are so exhausted. So yeah, and the thing is, and I have seen this so much among the women that I work with. Sometimes when I'm coaching quite senior women in companies, I have a one-on-one coaching session with, and maybe Haruko, you've experienced this too, is that they will just burst into tears because it's just suddenly they feel comfortable to talk to me, and it's just this release, and they're talking about the stress that they're under, and the not only the work pressure, and the thing is that as well, the more capable you are, the more people rely on you, and the more difficult it can often be to ask for help. But then they have the family responsibilities as well, and it's just so it's so sad hearing the story. And I'm just kind of filtering a little bit here, being careful because I don't want to divulge anything, any personal stories that people have told me, but it's so sad. And so that's the driver for me. That's why I'm so passionate about supporting women. And the other thing is the change that happens. Like once women start to really take the time for themselves, they start to shift their mindset. They start to learn some skills, and they start practicing those skills. Then amazing changes happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. And actually, I experienced too the burnout. And I'm going to speak in Japanese a little bit because it's going to be a deep story for me, and it's hard to express in English. So, ヘレンの体験とすごく似ていて、私が東京に出てきて、上場企業の、管理職の研修を150人担当して研修とワンオンワンのコーチングをやってるっていうやり始めたばっかりの時に大先輩と一緒に組んでやってた仕事でその先輩がアメリカから帰ってきた先輩でクライアントからクレームが出てしまって素晴らしい先輩だったんだけれどもとてもコンサバティブな日本の組織でその先輩がレイオフされてしまって全部のスケジュールを私が一人でやるっていう風になって半年間休みがなくなったプロジェクトがあるんですよ。で半年間毎日朝8時45分から5時半とかまで毎日管理職のコーチングをワンオンワンで1日8人とかやってで研修もやってっていうのをやってたら 半年終わる、プロジェクトが終わる頃に、高熱が42度の熱が出て、下がらなくなっちゃって、で、その時にインフルエンザだと思って病院に行ったら、先生が、ドクターが、この年齢の女性にすごく言いづらいんだけれども、川島さんの症状は老衰に似ていますって言ったんですよ。Do you know 老衰 in Japanese, Helen?
Yeah.
I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Then he asked me, so 晩ご飯とか食べれてますかとか、仕事が忙しすぎませんかって言われて、倒れられないからもう一生懸命ご飯食べるんだけど、なぜかちょっとずつ痩せてっていたんですよ、その時期。で、内心すごく怖かったんだけど、でも切らなきゃいけないと思って頑張っていたことがあって、で、やりきると同時に、もう糸が切れたように、私は猫っていう風になって、Then my husband do everything for me. I have a same experience with you. Also, so many other high performance women who switched her mindset or way of thinking or way of working or way of living. And I know it's really powerful. So that, I love your concept.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Kazuko here.
Oh, brilliant. Great that you're watching.
Yeah, great.
Ranging from stress.
Yeah, and now we are so happy now, so we can share something to the working women. And and also I love your concept. So after that, the experience, and also you met so many high performance women, and you create your own new concept for women, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us about it?
Yes. Okay. I'm just trying to remember now what we talked about before we went live. Right. So in the live version, I haven't talked about the 2 books that I read yet, right? That was before we went live. Is that right? I'm confused. Right. Okay. So doing that bit again.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
For our audience.
Okay. So this is about the Sasuga success cycle, and so I can't take 100% credit for coming up with this because it's actually biology. It's actually about the way women's bodies work. And I first came across this whole concept of the women's cycles and using them in terms of your work and your productivity from 2 books that I read. And these books just both kind of came to my attention around the same time. One was called The Optimized Woman, and one was Do Less. And they both had this same sort of concept of, looking at your menstrual cycle, and you have different phases. You have 4 distinct phases in your menstrual cycle. And in each of those phases, you are more suited to doing certain activities than other activities. So if you're doing the wrong activity at the wrong time, you're going to be exhausted with it. You're not going to be able to do it to the best of your ability. And I was fascinated by this concept, and so I started to use it for myself and experiment with myself, and I really found the amazing difference that it made. So then from there, I took that concept and then also all of, the communication skills, the productivity, the planning, the implementation, all of those things, and I put it all together into the Sasuga success cycle. And so now you follow the cycle, and then you also have the right skills to do it at the best of your ability during the right phases. So, and I think, I don't know if you've got the visual of that. If you want to just briefly show it, that might even make it really,
I love it.
Easy to follow. Then just to give you a little bit more, so that you can understand it. So if you think, if you start at the very top, the top of here, phase 1 in gold, you can see. So this is the first phase. Each phase is about 7 days. It depends on the woman. And your phase 1 that's when you're most suited. That's from 7 days after your period. okay, 7 days after your period. That is when you are most suited to work that is planning related. And obviously, when I'm teaching this to my clients and online students, I go into a lot more detail and we go into each of the skills, but I'm just giving you an overview right now. In phase 2, so this is from 14 days after, this is when you're best at communication. You're naturally best at communication. So this is a really good time if you need to give a presentation or make a proposal or any of those kind of things. And what I find is really fascinating is, if you think about it, this is the time of ovulation. This is the time that women are naturally most attractive. So that's when it's a really good time to communicate.
Yeah.
Right. And after that, you go into the phase that everybody loves so much. Not really. The PMS, the premenstrual tension time, right? That is actually the time where if you start to use that really intense energy and that really sort of, you kind of a lot more internally focused during that time, that is a really great time for completing tasks. But the next thing that I would recommend is that you let your, what I would, if possible, let your family, let your close colleagues know that you're going into this phase so that they know why you're like, leave me alone. I need to I'm focusing. Okay. And then you go into the phase 4, which is the time of the period of the menstruation. That is a time to really be taking care of yourself. I do think, take care of yourself throughout the whole cycle, but especially during this time. And when I teach this to the women in my my clients and my online students, this is a time that they realize that it's okay to take time to rest and to slow down. And when they do that, they know that then they're going to be able to perform at their best in the other times during the cycle. So, I'm in love with this concept. It's just really a game changer for me, and seeing the impact it's having on the women that I've been introducing this to, they're like, "Wow, I never thought of this," and it's so simple, it's so intuitive. So, okay, I've talked. You can tell that I'm enthusiastic about this, right?
Yeah, great. So, can you tell us about a little bit, so how they can feel confident? And also, I also love your concept. You have a confident and productivity and get the result.
Yeah.
So I love these 3 concepts too. So could you share a little bit about those?
Definitely.
Success cycle.
Definitely. And I can tell you a little bit about where they came from, because they actually came from when I first started the Sasuga VIP Women's Coaching Program, and we can maybe talk about that a little bit later on. But when I first started that program, it was kind of like just I'm going to do this thing. And I invited several women who I thought might be interested in more, personal and professional development. And I invited them into this program for 3 months. We had no fixed content in advance. We just had every 2 weeks, we had a coaching call, online coaching call. And then from the topics that came up there, confidence, productivity, and getting results, those were the 3 that were the most sought after topics. And so that then became the kind of the focus of what I was teaching. And I also, what I also love is CPR. It's I've forgotten the English, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which the Japanese is, I've forgotten the Japanese, what is it? Shinzo nantoka nantoka. I can't remember what it is in Japanese now. But the thing where somebody is not breathing and you start to get their heart beating. What's it called? Somebody in the chat. What's it called? Somebody speaks Japanese. I've forgotten what it's called. So CPR is is what I love, because it's about CPR is getting your heart started, getting your breathing, right?
心肺蘇生法
Right. Yes.
心肺蘇生法
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So it's, that's all about getting your heart beating. So I say it's like get your heart beating with joy and getting so that you can breathe, right? CPR, confidence, productivity, and results. So this is, I'm really passionate about this. And confidence, confidence is such an interesting one, because a lot of people think that that they will look at someone and say, oh, that person's confident. But that person may be confident in that particular situation, but if you put them in a different situation where they're not so familiar about it, then they're not going to be confident. It's actually by stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things repeatedly, that is when you become confident. And if I can just share as well, Haruko, as we were talking before, and I was saying how impressed I am with you doing these lives in such a wonderful and professional way. And what you said to me, and I don't know if the people watching know this, is that when you first started, in 1 week, you did it 10 times. Yeah. Well, that's exactly it, right? Because by doing it repeatedly, you built your confidence, right? Yeah. So that's the thing. When people come to me and say, oh, I'm not confident, well, just do the thing that you want to be confident in. Do it again. Take those small steps out of your comfort zone. We've all got our comfort zone where it's like, okay, I'm okay here. This is fine. And then when we do something new, it's like a step out of the comfort zone. And when you take a step out of the comfort zone, it's like, oh, doki doki, doki doki. Once you do that, and you're like, oh, that was okay. And then your comfort zone grows, right? That's when you build the confidence. And then you can do it again and again and again and again.
Yeah. Actually, I start live broadcasting in May. So in 1 month, I think our team is already professional to do this. Yeah. So before that, I didn't know how to do it at all. And I didn't know about StreamYard or something. Yeah. But it's just easy when you do it. So yeah.
And it gets easier. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Absolutely.
Yeah. And how about productivity?
So productivity. So this is, a lot of people think of productivity and they think it's like do. And so many women are coming to me saying, I need to be more productive. I need to just do more. But it's not about doing more. And it goes back to what I was saying about the Sasuga success cycle. It's doing the right things at the right time, and most importantly, it's taking that time to rest. And my goodness, this has been such a struggle for me, because I'm the sort of person naturally who wants to do and do, and I've really had to train myself to slow down, and then I know that I can be my best when I do slow down. Yeah.
Okay. So how about the results?
Getting results, again, going back to the Sasuga success cycle, it's like it's following that and it's doing consistently. So quite often people will do things once or twice and then get distracted or forget about it. But by doing consistently, I'm also a huge fan and huge believer in community. And so this is why I do have, online communities for women, so that we can then support each other in getting results. Because when you talk to other, you say, I'm going to be doing this, you say that to other people, then a lot of people, it's not everybody, because there are, some people are a little bit differently motivated. A lot of people, a lot of women are very much motivated when they have made that commitment to someone else. I don't know if you've noticed this. So a lot of women, if you make a commitment to someone else, you will do it. You make a commitment to yourself, maybe not. right? So it's like so many high performing women, those things where it comes to, like, for example, self-care, that gets the low priority, the last thing on the to-do list.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then we have some comments. This is from Anna. Key point for productivity is rest.
Exactly. Exactly.
We
So
may forgot.
it's so true. So true.
Yeah.
So one of my mentors as well, he says the rest is the work.
Yeah, of course.
Right? It's resting that is actually what's important. And the most challenging thing you can ask of a high performer is to rest.
Yeah. I love the word active rest. Do you know that?
Yes, active rest,
Yeah. Just not just sleeping in the bed or something. Yeah, I love to go out and fill the hours or doing something fun, you know. Go to the ocean or something. So yeah, because we can be energetic more and more.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can see. Yeah. Love
yeah. And also we have a comment from Miho. Stepping out of my comfort zone is definitely important for me. Yeah. For everyone.
It is, because that's how you grow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you everyone for commenting, and do feel free to put comments and questions, and I'm sure Haruko can let us know.
So, Helen, do you have anything you can share to our audience, or what do you think? Shall we move on to the Q&A session? Or?
I'm happy to move on to Q&A. I mean, I'm here for you, for everybody watching, to answer whatever is helpful for you.
Okay, so to our audience, so we'll move on to the Q&A session, and yeah, we welcome your comment in English and also in Japanese. ヘレンは日本語も読めますし、日本語も書けますし、日本語も英語と同じぐらい上手なので、日本語でのご質問とかコメントもウェルカムです。今日ここまでお話ししてきたことについてでもいいですし、今日ここまで話をしてきたことを聞いて、ヘレンに聞いてみたいことがあるっていう方は、今日のね、ここまでのセッションの内容とリンクしてなくても大丈夫。なので。
Absolutely. I'm an open book. Whatever you want to ask me is fine.
Yeah. If you have any questions to Helen, you can just feel free to write in the comment in English, also in Japanese. Welcome.
Yeah. Maybe German. German also.
Oh, really?
I forgot. I did study German. I studied German and French and Spanish, but a long time ago. So let's stick with English and Japanese for now.
I think maybe they are thinking or writing. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm going to check my Facebook. 日本語で失礼します。いいね、静香さん。She's so polite and kind. 日本語で失礼します。I love it. 日本語ウェルカムですよ。
はい、どうぞどうぞ。
どうぞどうぞ。Oh, at first, Kazuki came to first.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she says, what's the pros and cons of gathering women only? I feel comfortable sometimes, but not for others. So I love this. And this is something that I've definitely thought about. And, you know, especially in the beginning of my independent career, like after leaving the corporate world, when I started my own business, I was primarily supporting men. And maybe that's just because in companies there are a lot of men, and a lot of executives are men. So I was doing that, and then as I've talked about the reasons for wanting to support women, I decided I wanted to focus more on women. And I kind of feel a little bit, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I'm missing you, missing you out. But I do believe that the guys do get other support too. And I would prefer to be able to kind of focus and really support in a really deep way for the women. And part of what made me realize the power of the women-only groups, like, diversity and inclusion, really, really important. Yeah. And I think, it's like, as you say, Kazuko, it's about thinking about the particular situation and what works best. So several years ago, I've actually forgotten which year, maybe it was 2017, maybe it was the first time I did, I ran an in-person retreat for women only. And I was so amazed. So we had this, it was a wonderful event where we were in a hot spring, and we had the women gathered in a wonderful ryokan. And just on that first Saturday morning, the women just kind of bonded so quickly. The women that didn't know each other at all, but they just became very close, and they started sharing, and there were tears, and it was just an amazing experience. And I don't believe that would have happened if we had done it with men in the room.
Yeah.
So in that case, to me, it was more powerful to make that a women-only event. And that's also partly why I focus on supporting women.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Helen. Diversity and inclusion is so important for our world, especially to create something new, or
Yeah.
But when we want to create something deeper and transformation from inside, for women and women leader is so minority in Japan. Of course, not only in Japan, but especially in Japan, and they can feel safe, psychological safety when we gather only women.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think as well, what I would love to see is more of this type of support for men too, to be quite honest.
Yeah, of course. I agree with
let's give everybody that deep support, so that then people can come together in the workplace in a diverse environment, and then you're getting the different perspectives, because that is the big value of diversity, is that you get the different perspectives. I would love to see more of that.
Yeah, great. So we have some question here. This is Yuko. Do you find anything different point of the view between Japanese women and Western women in terms of your view? Yeah.
There are actually a lot of similarities. So, things like when we were talking about, for example, stress and burnout, people often think that, the Western women are strong, and they're, they don't suffer from these things, or they don't suffer from like the insecurity and low self-esteem. They do. They just don't. They don't show it. So I think yes, of course there are general cultural differences. I always though look at the individual, and I see so many commonalities just because we're human beings.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one more related question from Shizuka-san. She wrote in Japanese. 逆に日本の女性のここが本当に素晴らしいと思うよっていうところでもいいんだけれども、何かそのHelenの視点から違い、日本の女性と、海外の女性との違い、もしくはの中から素晴らしいところ、もしくはもったいないなっていうところで、新しい視点を聞けたら。
Right. So part of it is we talked about the majime aspect, right?
Yeah.
So the majime has it's like with so many things though. Majime has its kind of positive and maybe negative sides. So sometimes it's not just women, it's men too, and it's not not necessarily just Japanese, but sometimes when you get so majime, it can be a negative, because you get so kind of serious and focused on something and kind of rigid in a sense. But also the majime can also be something positive when you are focusing on something positive in a majime sort of way. So it's, you know, it's really about how you use it. And I love, so I'm just thinking of my female clients and the women in my online communities where they get very majime and they make just amazing changes, and they're so humble as well. I think that's an amazing part. Is but again, that's also pros and cons, because I like that humility. I respect humility, and then sometimes if it's too much, they're holding themselves back, and they're kind of they can be perceived as weak when that's again mottainai.
So you are talking same point. If it's too much, it goes to negative, but it's in a good way. It's a brilliant point. Japanese women, great. And this is from Nana. What is the most important thing to develop working career for women?
Oh, wow, that's a tricky one. The most important to develop a working career for a woman, I think it really depends on the woman and what's important for her. So, maybe it's one thing that's very common is letting go of perfectionism.
Oh yeah,
right? Because there's often this, and it goes to related again to being majime, is sometimes it's focusing on getting something so perfect, you want it to be so right, and then that either makes you very slow at doing it, or it actually stops you from doing it altogether because you don't think it's absolutely perfect. In fact, I'm going to share with you, this just came up in the Sasuga VIP Women's Coaching Program just very, very recently from one of the participants there. And she said that she's so sweet. She's like almost on a daily basis, she's putting posts in our private Facebook group saying about how she's been stepping out of her comfort zone. And so she shared this story where she had been creating a report for her colleagues, and she said the old me would have spent hours and hours and hours making it perfect. She said, but the new me spent a much shorter time and actually felt a little bit nervous that it wasn't complete, but then went and shared it with colleagues. And it actually worked out really well because the colleagues could understand what she was thinking, and it gave them an opportunity to give their input as well. So she saved time, and she got a better relationship with them, and then she got the other perspectives as well, which goes back to our topic of the diversity and inclusion. So love that.
Yeah.
So perfectionism is one that comes to mind for me, Nana. But I would say that it really depends on each woman, each individual. What's the main thing for her?
I think it's a little bit related to the topic you talked. Do you know imposter shokogun?
Oh, of course, yeah, imposter syndrome. Hi, Emiko. Lovely to see you. Yeah, of course. So, how to get over imposter syndrome, and this is something as well that is definitely not just Japanese. It's so common. Really, the way to overcome it is just keep doing it. It's like, as we were saying earlier, it's the confidence thing. The more you do it, the more. So, what is it? Confidence really comes from competence. Competence, being able to do it. So noryoku. So jishin comes from noryoku. And the only way that you get the noryoku, the competence, is by doing it, by practicing it. So the more you do it, then the more you are no longer an imposter.
Yeah, and also I think I can give her advice. So I think we can have a confidence because I am I. I'm proud of myself because I am a Haruko Kawashima. It might be slight difference between the confidence, but we can say it because without the result, we can be, be confident, I think. So if you focus on only your competent or only your result, it might be hard for you. But I think we can have a space for us because I am me or something.
Right.
That's why I am here, or I can do it, or
Yeah. And the thing is, you're very good at being you. Like everybody, you're good at being you because you practiced it. So you can have confidence there, and then that can develop to confidence in other areas as well.
And also, John is my friend, and he is a male manager in the fashion retail industry, and he asked you about how he supports talented women who hesitate.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! Again.
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah, this is so common. And again, the Sasuga VIP Women's Coaching Program, we had exactly this topic not too long ago when one of the women in the group, she was just kind of giving her update on her progress, and she said, I was very cheeky at work the other day because I asked my boss if I could get a promotion. And the rest of us in the group were like, that's not cheeky. That's not the wrong thing to do. That's not a bad, in any way a bad thing or negative in any sense. That's a good thing to do. And actually in the group, we have some women who are HR managers. And so I asked them as well for their view, as HR professionals. I said, what do you think about women who actually express that desire to be promoted? And the two HR professionals were like, we would so welcome that because it is so difficult to get really talented women that we can promote. So if somebody actually wants to do it, they have that will, even better. So so Jun's question was, is there a good way to encourage them? Well, get them to watch this video. It's probably part of it. But yeah, I mean, if you're the one working as a manager, it's talking to them. I would say, and this is for many ways to kind of build your relationships in the work environment. So this is relevant to other people watching as well. Is talking to your colleagues and understanding what's important to them. Because, why would promotion be important to them? So for some women, it is about the status. For some women, it might be that's a way that they can make more of a contribution. For some women, it's they value the opportunity to grow. So talk to them and understand a little bit more about what is their motivation, what their values are, and then you could maybe suggest a little bit that like, oh, well, have you thought about promotion? Because that would be a way for you to do this, the thing that you want to do. So, understanding what motivates them.
Great.
That helps, Jun.
Yeah, I hope. And Miho says, what do you think about silence, which many Japanese people still value in communication?
Let me be silent and consider that. So I value silence. I really do. And when I'm, for example, teaching presentation skills, I encourage presenters to get comfortable with silence as well. Yeah. So that they can give their audience an opportunity to absorb what they're thinking. And so I think I really value silence. At the same time, I think for a lot of Western audiences, perhaps not Western audiences, not in the presentation sense, but I mean for a lot of Western professionals, business professionals, maybe that's not a concept that's so familiar to them. And you may have noticed that, for example, when you're having a conversation, and I'm talking very generally here, but when you're having a conversation with someone from the West, you might find that they, you're talking and then they will be answering you immediately. Whereas when you're having a conversation in Japanese, you're more likely to have a little bit of a pause, reflect, and then respond. And, that, by the way, if we go back to the things about, strengths of Japanese, that is something that is, okay, I'm going into another of these pros and cons, so I'm just thinking about it. That is a strength in listening, is that you get comfortable with the silence and you're really listening to what the person says. That is a strength of Japanese. Something where there is room for improvement is the asking questions, asking clarifying questions, because that's something that we don't see as much in Japanese culture, and that can then lead to misunderstandings, especially when you're working in a global environment.
Yeah, that's right. And this is the question for me. ハルコさんの例で、休みたくても休めない状況にあった当時のハルコさんにどのようなアドバイスをされますかということで、Don't take too much responsibility, because it is not your responsibility, I just took someone's responsibility. Then I experienced burnout. So I'm not their mother, or I'm not their, parents or something. They are already adult. And we are a partner. So of course we collaborate, and of course we support each other. But if it's too much responsibility and we have a choice to say no, it's not a healthy relationships. So その時は、その先輩から頼まれたわけではなくて、マネージメントしていた会社があって、その会社からもう頼まれまくって、川島さんしかいないんです、お願いしますみたいな状態で、クライアントからももう川島さんが指名なので、申し訳ないんだけれども、一度クレームをもらってるから、なんとかここを全部やりきって、高評価を、信頼を取り戻してほしいって頼まれまくっての、半年間っていう状態だったんだけれども、I had a choice to say no to the management company because they didn't take any responsibility at the moment. So, but I didn't know about it at that time because I was too young. Yeah, at the moment. So now I can say it to myself. You have a choice to say no and don't take too much responsibility of others. It's not healthy at all.
So true. So true.
Yeah. So yeah, Kazuko has a comment.
Good.
Good. So, do you guys have any comments or questions to Helen, or if it's enough for you?
This is great. I'm loving seeing all the questions and comments.
Yeah. How brilliant our listeners here.
They're wonderful.
Yeah.
Speaking sophisticated English.
うんふん。
バカにされない。Okay. I'm researching the definition of sophisticated English. Okay, I've not found it. Interesting one. Yes, I can advise you on that. So I love this topic, and this is one I could talk about for hours. So many of my clients initially come to me wanting to speak sophisticated English. They are worried about, baka ni sareru, like they're worried that they're going to be embarrassed by their English. They're worried that English is not good enough. Oh my goodness, it's just so unnecessary. It's really that high level of English is really not necessary. It's more about your actual communication skills. So it's not about perfect grammar. It's not about perfect pronunciation, and it's not about sophisticated English. So when I hear sophisticated English, I think of like very complex and difficult words is what I might think of as sophisticated English. I mean, it really depends on how you want to define it. But when you use complex and difficult words with an audience that doesn't understand the complex and difficult words, then you don't have communication. So it's not about those things. It's about actually being able to communicate. And I just want to share this. Yes, forget about sophisticating. Absolutely. I want to share this story because this is just one of my absolute favorites from one of my I can just say this, one of my favorite clients. This is a Japanese male, actually, and he's the head of his organization here in Japan. And he was telling me how he and his team, who are all Japanese, were they were at a global conference, and they gave the Japan team's presentation in English. And of course, the English was not perfect, but the way that they delivered, and they might have had a bit of coaching in presentation skills from someone. The way that they delivered, they really delivered from the heart. You know, they're very clear in their message. It wasn't about perfect English, and they got a standing ovation from the audience. They were, out of all of the global teams giving presentations, theirs was the one that was the most popular. And he came back from that and he was just like, I'm so happy, I'm so proud of my team. It was just such a wonderful experience. So that's just one of the many examples of of success stories where I've worked with people and they've overcome this initial this like desire to speak perfect, sophisticated English, and people don't. Like, I have a podcast, the Sasuga podcast, and I sometimes I listen back to myself and I'm like, what was I saying there? Like, I don't necessarily have the correct grammar, or I don't necessarily make complete sense sometimes. So even as a native speaker of English, it's not always perfect. So that's just I would say it's a waste of time, effort and energy to even be concerned about that.
And also, Nana says a very good point.
Yeah.
Native English speaker is very few percentage of all over the world of English speakers.
Yeah.
So we Japanese think too much about fear of speaking in English,
Yeah, it's so true. And it's because, you have all of these like tests and English schools that focus just on getting the English exactly right. And that's not the point. It's about the communication.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also Yumi saying no, protect myself.
Yeah.
And of course, and more than that, you can think about ideal relationship with your partner or with your friend. Because for me, I told you it's not healthy relationship. I love healthy or I love fun relationship, not izon too much. I don't like it because I want to create something new with my friend or with my partner. But if somebody is on too much to me, they just reduce my resource. So what is your ideal relationship between others? Not just to protect yourself.
Yeah, it's the same. So it's a kind of I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost a sort of sharing of energy in a sense. So I will, I give, whatever it may be, like my expertise, or it's just my joy, and then I get something back from them. So if it's something like the women that I'm coaching, I see their growth, and I see their enthusiasm, and I see their joy coming out of that. So that's something that comes back to me. So that's like as you say, izon, that dependence, that's not really healthy.
Yeah. So Helen, could you share a little bit about your online training, I think, because here we have a wonderful listener tonight.
We do. We have amazing listeners. Thanks to you.
Yeah, because it's a casual live streaming, but they are so much great question here and comment here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can share about the online training you do, like CPR.
Yeah. So actually, just right now, so every so often, I will have a pop-up, what I call pop-up online training, which is something that anybody can join. So we have an online training right now called CPR, and I think you can maybe share a link for that afterwards if people are interested. That is a training that is happening right now, and it's only until July the 3rd. And that is training about the basics of confidence, of productivity and results. And of course, we go into the Sasuga success cycle. That the training format is there are video trainings, and they're all on a resources page. It's very easy to see all of those videos. They're probably about 10, 15 minutes each video, so you could even just like go in and just binge watch the whole thing. But we also have a private Facebook group for this training, as I said, just until July 3rd. And there are some amazing women in there. Actually, I think we have some other women on live watching now. So I don't know if anybody wants to say yes. You might want to say yes, I'm in it, and it's fabulous. I don't know. It's up to you. I do think I saw some names of women who are already in there. So this is something that you can actually go to right after seeing this. And once you see the link from Haruko, you can go along and join that. As I said, it's till July 3rd. So definitely recommend that.
And also you told about Sasuga Deep Women's Coaching at the beginning of today's session.
Yeah, I did.
Could you share a little bit about it also?
Yeah, I can. So actually, one of the reasons that I'm offering the CPR training now is to give women an opportunity to get an understanding of the type of work that I do, and to get an understanding of who I am. And because you want to know, are you comfortable with the person? Do you like the content? And then for the women who want to go further and want to study further, then I invite you to come and join the Sasuga VIP Women's Coaching Program, which is a 3-month program. And that, what I'm actually doing is, it's so exciting this time, I'm actually redesigning the whole content based on the Sasuga success cycle, because it's been so popular. So we actually have one VIP program which is just coming to a close right now, and I started to introduce the Sasuga success cycle in there. The women love it, so then because of that, I'm now redesigning the whole thing, so it's structured all around that cycle. And so we'll actually, it's 3 months, so it's 12 weeks, and in those 12 weeks we will cycle through the whole thing, the 4 phases, and the mindset and the skills that you need to excel in those phases. They're all in there. So we'll start with week 1, and we'll be looking at how to design your vision, and then we'll go into week 2 will be a communication theme. So that's when we will start with the fundamentals around presentation skills, and then so each week is a topic related to one of these phases. And as I said, in the 12 weeks we'll go through 3 cycles, so that you're building your skills each time. And that is has weekly homeworks, all in a beautiful online library, and again has the Facebook group with a wonderful community. We actually have women who go through this repeatedly. I've run now 4 programs, and some of the women have actually been in 4 times, because each time they go into it, they're developing at a different level. So, and we also have, coaching calls every 2 weeks, and everything's recorded if you can't join live, those kind of things. So it's fabulous.
Yeah, that sounds great. And it also will become the mastermind group for women.
Right. So the mastermind is actually a level higher.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So and this is something that's new, that's just starting from July, because I am starting to offer this now just for the women who really want to go to a higher level. I initially was thinking of the women who've been going through this program 4 times. And I thought, what can I offer them more? So now I'm just starting to offer that mastermind level, which will be a 6-month program. So, I mean, you can think in a sense of the VIP program as a type of mastermind, because obviously you're sharing, you're supporting each other. And then I have a more intensive, that's the higher level as well.
Okay. We've got the interesting question here from Tomoko. プログラムを受講している最中に講師に対して不信感が湧いた場合、どのように対応すればいいでしょうか? Interesting.
Well, is this me? I think in that case, well, I don't know, let me see. In that case, if you feel like you don't trust the person, I think it depends on what you've invested to join the program, because if you haven't made a significant investment, then I would just say leave. Right? It's not worth your time and energy.
Yeah. You don't have to continue to join the program because you don't trust the person.
Right. If you have made a significant investment in a program and then you're partway through and you're not trusting the person, well, I would probably have a communication with that person and just talk about what it is that you are not happy with. And if that person has integrity, then I would expect them to find a solution for you, or to look for a way for you to leave the program. But I think it really depends on the situation, Tomoko. That there are a lot of variables related to that. But I think the key thing is do something about it, because there's no point in the whole gammon and putting up with a program that you're not happy with.
And also sometimes people has some kind of trauma. Then it shows up with negative emotion to the presenter or coach.
So could you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, I'm going to explain in Japanese.
Okay.
So 中には普通の方にはあまりそういうことはないけれども、中には何らかの過去の経験がトラウマのようなものになっていて、例えば過去に出会ったコーチとの関係性がすごく悪くて、で、新しく出会ったコーチにその感情を日本語だと投影って言ったりするんですけれども、Yeah, they transfer the negative emotion or negative memory to the new coach sometimes. So, もしそういう場合は、go into yourself and then you can solve it. But you have a choice to stop or to do something. So, yeah.
I think that's a key as well. We've talked about this before, Haruko, is remembering that you do have a choice in everything. You really do, even though you think, it might be a difficult choice, but you do have a choice in everything. And it's really thinking about, asking yourself what assumptions you're making. Is it something that's related to you and your kind of bias about that person? Or is it really something that person is not doing in a professional way?
Yeah. Helen, it was not you. I will talk with her.
I didn't think it was me. I would hope that anybody who has any kind of dissatisfaction can talk to me directly about it. Similar to skipping school. Certainly a choice. Yeah.
Okay, so we talked more than 1 hour already. Time flies.
It does.
Yeah, it was quite fun session. Thank you very much, Helen, to coming to our live as a special guest tonight.
You are most welcome. It's a pleasure, and I want to congratulate you. And I don't know if your listeners, your viewers know this about you, about when we first collaborated and you were a guest on the Sasuga online retreat, and that was your first presentation, basically doing that kind of thing in English, right?
Yeah.
And you just did it so beautifully. And I love your attitude of just like, I'm just going to do it. And it's kind of the same, I have the same sort of attitude. And I would love to see more women and men too, in fact, everybody just kind of relax a little bit and just take those risks and, have fun with it. Have fun with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, thank you, Tomoko. It was a good time. It was great having you on as well. Thank you.
Great. It was such a wonderful session. Thank you, Haruko-san and Helen. Lovely ladies and friends. Great. So thank you very much, everyone joining us, and beautiful comments and questions. It was so wonderful. And thank you very much for Helen to coming to our live as a guest. And you sharing a lot about the mindset of women, and also, about the fear of speaking in English, especially for Japanese.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to share the link after our session.
Great.
So Helen introduced us about the online training of, it's called CPR, Shinpai Soseiho in Japanese.
Yeah. To get your heart beating with joy and you breathing.
Joy. Yeah. So Shinpai Sosei for joy. And maybe Sasuga VIP women coaching also.
Yeah.
I'm going to share the link. So if you want to learn more about those, you can find some information here.
That's right. And also for women who are, once you've read about that information and if you have questions, if you haven't had an opportunity, go through the CPR if you can. If you don't have the opportunity, you can book a complimentary clarity call with me so that we can confirm whether the Sasuga VIP Women's Coaching Program is for you. So follow the links that you receive from Haruko, and I'm here to help if you're interested in that.
Great. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, and have a good night.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.